being able to help people to establish what they're called to do. When you're willing to do that for other people, you'll be surprised how much the resources will come to help you build your vision today. I mean, a lot of you have sowed your time today. A lot of you are sowing, you're doing a fashion event at 4 o'clock, but you're here to be developed and trained and built up, and that takes time. So your time here is definitely valuable. My name is Chris Hampton. I know you introduced me, and I know you heard it, but now you know my name is Chris Hampton. My name is Chris Hampton, and the business that I do is I'm an empowerment speaker, and I run champiam.org. And my purpose is to empower people, to educate people, to encourage people to pursue their passion, to pursue their vision. Life is too short to be working jobs that we don't like. When we have skill sets that we can be doing, that God-given abilities that we have, that's there to make us money. And we're working our butts off for people that don't really value what we have to offer. And we think because this is the way our mama did it, the way our daddies did it, that this is the way that we have to go. But you're here because you want to model. You're here because you have a picture or an image of your business in mind. You're here because you have a design that's in there that you think it's able to go global. And right now, you're living your life with a global vision, but you have mighty minimal resources. I see myself worldwide, looking at Champiam on a satellite, going worldwide. Right now, I live in Camden, right down the street. You probably passed my house. And the difference between what we have right now is the difference between those that are making it right now and those that are just sitting by dreaming and never waking up from their dreams is we have decided to do something. We decided that our worth is worth something more than what we've been paying. We got to do something different. Look at your neighbor. Listen. I'm one of these speakers that likes to talk to you, talk with you, talk at you. I'm going to make you talk to each other. If you don't know the person beside you, you will by now. I know Daisy. And you know Daisy, guess what's in here?
Coffee. Water. Irish coffee.
Water is gold up in here. But what I'm going to talk to you today is I'm going to give you some steps. And I'm going to do more than just rah, rah, rah and motivate you and get you out there and get all happy. But I want you to walk away with a different picture of who you see yourself today. You're in the modeling industry. And the modeling industry is a cutthroat industry. It's not the easiest industry. Everybody who's above a size 0 is called fat, chunky, just not the right material. If you're tall, if you're short, if you're under 5'11", I don't know. Is it 5'11"? If you're under, most of y'all are short and y'all be playing tricks with heels. But, you know, I'm looking at y'all as tall, big heels. But heels do a lot for you. But if you're under a certain size or a certain height, you don't fit that demographic. If you're pleasantly plump and well-rounded, beautiful and abounded and bountiful, they ain't looking at you the same. There you go. But there's a place in the industry for everybody. If you're willing to, one, recognize that you are worth putting that effort and that time in. And you know what? If you don't see the opportunity, you need to start creating the opportunity. You know what? This is the season now that plus-size models are starting to really make plus-size models out there. And you know what? I'm sitting there looking at these. I'm trying to make, if I go off politically correct, you let me know. But I was like, I'm seeing these beautiful plus-size models. And the industry doesn't make plus-size look beautiful. They used to make it look sloppy. But now you have plus-size models that are doing it, that are representing and say, So, there's an industry for that. But if you don't, here's the key. The topic that I'm supposed to talk to you today about is called knowing your worth. And I'm going to break some things down and hopefully change your way of looking at how you see yourself. You see, I was in my devotion one time, and I was sitting there, and I came across this proverb. And it said this. You might want to write this down. You might want to look at this proverb up. So I'm going to look at my notes. Proverbs 11:22. And it says, like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman without sense. Now, some of y'all might just got offended. Did I just call you a pig? No, I didn't call you a pig. And if you thought that I called you a pig, that's part of the problem. I said like a gold ring in a pig's snout. Here's the issue with that. A gold ring that's in a pig's snout, when you look at the pig, do you ever recognize the gold ring? You're looking at the pig. That could be a $10,000 ring in that pig's snout. And when you look at that pig, all you see is a pig. How many of you have been in relationships where people have taken from you more than they gave back? Whether it's personal relationships, business relationships, baby daddy's relationships, baby mama's relationships, people are just draining the life out of you and taking out of you more than they could ever give back to you. They don't see the worth that's on the inside of you. They don't recognize the beauty that you are. They don't recognize that you are a treasure. They don't recognize that you are worth more than riches. Just being in the same room with you is a pleasure and a treat. They don't recognize that you've been fearfully and wonderfully made. Or they wouldn't treat you the way they would treat you. You walk into a business environment, you don't have the confidence to talk to that boss and realize what you bring to the table. You're just like a beautiful woman without sense. When I looked up the word, did I say you lack common sense? No, I didn't say you lack common sense. You just lack sense. And what sense means is just simply to be aware. So you're a beautiful woman in a cutthroat industry that is not aware. So let's look at it again. Stop tying your things. Stop tying your abilities. Stop tying your talents to things that are worthless. And become more aware of where you're supposed to be. And that starts with you believing in, one, that you have value, that you have worth. Listen, have you ever watched on Facebook? There's this girl that's on Facebook that has vitiligo. How do I say that? You know the skin disorder where it's discoloration of skin and half the skin is like white pigmentation, and beautiful young lady. But to have the strength and the courage to go beyond that and model in such an excellent way and really show herself in so many different ways how beautiful she really is. She didn't wait for someone to say, hey, you look good. You should be on TV. You should be in a magazine. She went against the standard and realized that she's worth more than they're giving her credit for. And she was willing to do what was necessary to get her out there. If she can do it, why can't y'all? I'll give you numbers. There was a mentally disabled, is that the politically correct way of saying that one? She's mentally challenged. Autism, not autism, but mentally challenged, like cerebral palsy. I saw one with the cerebral palsy girl. And she had the features of someone that has that. Very pretty. And then again, she was modeling a full model shoot. I'm guaranteeing you when you walk in her presence on a day-to-day basis, you're not thinking model. But she decided that she was worth more than what people were ready to say. There you go. And then she was willing to do more than what people expected them to do. Here's the issue. People are not expecting you to do anything. People are not expecting to show up today and experience what we're going to experience today. I know you had the challenge of selling these tickets, the challenge of telling people, hey, I wanna be here. And if you invited one person, that's great. If you invited nobody because nobody believed you enough to be, don't let that take you, because you know that you are valuable enough. And then if you keep being persistent in this, it's going to work out. You build a name for yourself with persistency. The reason why I met Sarah a couple months ago. Hey, Sarah, don't take the pressure. She has her hair on the thing right now. I don't want the camera on. But out of meeting Sarah, through her consistency in her web, she's doing what? Nutrition. She's doing fitness. She's doing modeling. She could have just went across the state line and did a photo shoot. But because she's consistent in putting it on a day-to-day basis, it makes it look like you're doing so much work and that she's reaching the world and she's multiple states and Sarah should front of the page of the magazine. And it's just a little bit of consistency, but you have to know your worth. So look at your neighbor and say, know your worth. Now y'all look at you. Look at your neighbor and say, I know my worth. Y'all make me believe. Look at another neighbor and say, I know my worth. Whether you believe it or not, I know my word. And a great way to break that down, and a great way of illustrating this for you, is a story that we tell our children. We tell our children this bedtime. We let Disney tell it. But I see it a little different way now. And it's the story of Cinderella. Now, let me know. There's 5 major characters in the story of Cinderella. So, someone name out one of the 5 major characters. Oh yeah, let's start with Cindy. I like to call her Cindy, so we're going to call her Cindy. Is that all right? We're going to call her Cindy. Okay, who's the next one? Everybody remember Stepmom? The prince. She said, she's the prince. All right. The evil stepsisters. And there's one more. The fairy godmother. Good. So there's important lessons that we're going to learn from this. So I'm going to go in this order. We're going to talk about the fairy godmother. Nah. We're going to talk about the evil stepmom. We're going to talk about the wicked sisters. We're going to talk about the fairy godmother. We're going to talk about the prince. And we're going to wrap it all up with Cindy. Okay? Let's talk about the lessons we can learn from the mother. The mother spent most of her time in the story telling Cindy what she couldn't be. How many of you have experienced that? Where you come up with something that's out of the box in your mind of what you want to do, a direction you want to go, and you start talking to people, and they say, who do you think you are? Now, I sing. I do singing. Now, I started singing when I was in high school. Now, I wasn't the best singer when I started, but I'm a good singer now. Okay? So, Elder Ron was the singing group we used to sing from. And actually Vaughn, that's how I met Vaughn. We were singing back in the days when, boys and men were out in the corner going, my child Sally's back again. That was us in the hallways. We just thought we were there, Guy and True. Spread my wings. Okay. Oh, flashbacks. But this was a real thing. I was in my freshman year, and all I sang was gospel music, so I was on there. I could go to church with you. I'd take you to church real good. I knew that. But when I was doing R&B, I didn't know nothing about R&B. R&B was chicken-boo-boo-boo, and you had to run things, and we got guys who, hey, they were doing all those vocal things. And in church, we just did down-home singing. Okay? So we went, and I brought the group, and the group said, Chris, you got a neat voice. And that was before puberty, so I was singing, hey, there, oh, yeah. I was still there. Okay? And I brought the guys home, and I introduced them to my mom. Now, my mom is not the wicked stepmother, but I'm driving the point. My mom heard the boys, and she knew me, but she heard the boys. And she says, why are you with them? You can't sing. And my mom's not wicked. We got this relationship where we're very straightforward with each other. And what she was saying was, not that I couldn't sing, but what she was saying was, you couldn't sing as good as they were. But I didn't realize the relationship that I had with these guys was they knew that I couldn't sing as well as they could, but they had brought me in. And eventually they kicked me out the group because I couldn't sing as good as they were. But 4 years later, what happened was I didn't let my mom dictate to me what my ability was. I still believed I had an interest in singing. And my boy, who's one of my best friends now, said, Elder Ron, he was like, he's coming out with his album, he's doing great things too, but he was talking about how, he said, Chris, join chorus and learn the techniques of singing. And he was sitting with me for 4 years, and we were sat in 4 years learning the techniques of singing. And then by the time I got to the senior year, the boy that kicked me out the group ended up wanting to join my group. And we changed each other's lives forever. And that's how I met Navon. And we had relationships that lasted for a while. And now we're still tight to this day. But what I had to learn from that was you have to watch who you allow to speak into your life. And most of the times, the people that are speaking the most negativity in your life are the people that are ones that are closest to you. And they might not mean it. But you have to know your worth and realize that you are a treasure. And not everybody, there's people that are treasure hunters, and there are people that are, that is the first time I said this, people that are treasure hunters, and then there are people that are those long garage door, those garage sale people. There are people that can identify treasure when they see it, and then there's just people that are they're used to picking up junk. And when you're used to dealing with people that are picking up junk, when a treasure, they've had $1 million statue sitting on their mantle, and they were suffering in the side street of Camden, and because they couldn't realize the treasure that was sitting on their mantle the whole entire time, they were poor. $1 million sitting right in front. You walk by that ugly statue every day because you didn't realize your worth. Watch who you allow to devalue you. Watch who you sit on the mantle with. Know and identify. There are so many different types of beautiful in this place right now. And if they can't identify your beauty, then they're not the one. And the problem is we're seeking to be validated by people who are not meant to recognize us. So if you don't fit the market, you don't fit the mold, then they're not meant, that's not the mold you're supposed to be in. Create your new mold. Who's the other one? That was, I said this, we said, watch who we allow to speak to you. Who's the second? The wicked substitutes. Watch who you surround yourself with. You know that what's so great about this group today is we're like-minded. And being like-minded, you know the struggle of like-minded people. We know the struggle of what it is to maintain your weight, or the struggles of dealing with your self-esteem. I admire each and every one of you because you can do something that I can't do. You want to hear what you can do that I can't do? Right now, I struggle with taking a picture the first time and it looking good. You take pictures, and I can snap a picture of you, stuff that, and it's like you jump off the page. I take a picture, and you tell me to hold my face. You got like 1 second to get my true picture, then the rest of it's on. You have a talent that not everybody can do. I'm aspiring to be like you. But you need to be around people who, one, have a same vision, have a same picture of where you want to go. Because those people are not going to be the ones telling you you can't do it. One of my people that I'm so proud and happy to be in the place today is Craig and Kenya Linton from Hustle and Spirit. When I wanted to design my own t-shirt, they were there with me, and they said, Chris, this is how you do it. I haven't done yet because I have some finishing touches I want to do with it, but hey, they showed me the process. They weren't willing to hold it into themselves. They were willing to give to me and be a blessing to me because I didn't know anything from it. The best way to learn how to fish is to go with a fisherman. The best way to learn how to model is to hang around models. The best way to learn how to dress right is get your own personal designer. Get around people that are not going to tear you down for that. And the other thing about those wicked stepsisters was, and you got to watch out, is they were opportunistic. They were cool when they were perceived that time. But when Cindy started to elevate, didn't they change their tone? Oh, Cindy, hey, how you doing, girl? How you doing? You were just calling me this little ragged, wretched thing. You made me do all your chores. Now you want to bow down once I become the queen of the world. You want to value the relationships of the people that are standing with you right now. I love my partners, Vaughn. I love my partners, Taurus. I love my guys that came from New York. I mean, we're still relationships. Flo and our producer over there, Don. We got people in here who are standing with us in one way or the other when we're down here. Why? Because when we come elevated, and we get to the place where we need to be, I know I can go talk to my brother. I know I can pull on the Lintons. I know I can pull on the different models that are here when we had nothing. Everyday girl had nothing, and y'all still stayed with us. Those are the relationships that we're there to protect. So we said, what? Watch who speaks into you. We said, watch the people you surround yourself with. Who's the next one we were talking about? What was that? Fairy godmother, right? Oh, I love her. I love the fairy godmother. The fairy godmother is very important to you. You want to embrace those that see your value. Embrace those that not only see your value, but are willing to bless you and how can I say, give to you. What did she do? She went and said, hey, Cindy, you're going to the ball tonight. She goes, I have nothing to wear. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. She said, that was, you want to deal with people, I just turned my thing off. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. All right, it went on. That's all right. It went on. Can y'all hear me? Yes. It went on. But here it is. You want to deal with people that are like, oh, you're going to get, once you start proving yourself and proving that you are worth what you believe you are worth, you start walking a little bit different, you start thinking a little bit different. But what's going to happen is you're going to run into people that are going to say, oh, that's missing in your life? You need a little help here? Bibbidi bobbidi boo. You want to embrace those people. But what's going to mess up your relationship with those people if you don't know your worth? Because here's the issue. You were valuable before the resource came. But Cinderella didn't get that revelation. She didn't see that picture. She went to the ball, dressed up, blinged out, and she was still watching the clock. She couldn't even enjoy the moment because she was wondering about her past, wondering about her issues, wondering about, hey, I got to get home to my kid, or I don't know how the lights are going to be on, but you're in the moment. And here it is, I got you the finest car. I turned your Pinto into the Bentley. I gave you, you know, I don't know nothing about designers, but I gave you the top of the line fashion. I gave you diamonds and jewelry that's worth more than you and your mama and your daddy and your grandmama's house. And you can't enjoy the moment because you can't see your worth. Is this helpful? Because you need to know your worth. And then here's the next guy. I love this guy too. And coming from a man's point of view, he's cool. It's the prince. And the prince has a valuable lesson for you. And this is a relationship lesson that you might get now. You got to embrace those that are going to be willing to love you and care for you for who you are now and who you will be. I believe the prince, Cindy could have walked by him in her rags and he still would have noticed her. Because it was what was on the inside of Cindy that made the difference. There was a whole bunch of people blinging it out. If you want people that are going to look at you for your bling bling and what you got on, I like somebody how you are now. Somebody came out here like regular. Woo! Sarah's back there with the bag on her head. Woo! I can mess with Sarah because Sarah's an everyday girl out. So I'm not going to horrify y'all, say hey. But you have to find those people and those relationships that are going to be willing to love you unconditionally and value you for who you are. So that requires you knowing how valuable you are. So you can't stop linking up with suckers that have nothing to contribute to the party but a warm bed. And get to start looking for relationships that will make you the ultimate power team. Does it make a difference? Can you see how that's important? Would you rather be lonely for a moment and healthy for a lifetime? I want my power team. Say I want my power team. If you ain't got it yet, I want my power team.
I want my power team.
If you're sitting next to your power team, say we the power team.
We the power team.
Awesome. Because couples that can work together can accomplish so much more on a united front. Because you bring something to the table and she brings something to the table. That's the other reason why I like the Lintons, because they're a husband and wife team. Power team in there. You're going to love that team. Power teams. Power teams. The prince brought his riches. She brought everything else to her. He said, come as you are. You know what? A size 6 slipper is a size 6 slipper. I don't know if that's bigger feet or little feet or pepper. All right. 7 is good. All right. Somebody say 13? Because what happened? The prince had the glass slipper and he was going across the countryside. And it's like, not the one. Not the one. Came up to her and said, and she blew the relationship. Because she gave her some coinage. Not the one then. Who's going to be the 6th? But you see, that relationship was a late relationship that ended up ruling the kingdom. And that's what you got to look at. You are too valuable to be linking up with just anybody. Is that right? Is that right? All right, here's the last point, and then we'll let y'all go. All right? Who's that last and most important part of the story?
Cindy.
Our girl Cindy. What I like about this story that I think nobody recognizes, it wasn't the story about the ugly duckling. We knew the ugly duckling was ugly from the beginning. So I'm not trying to use the ugly duckling for the moral of this story. The moral of the story was Cindy was beautiful from the beginning, in the middle, and the end. Her situation changes, but she was still beautiful from the beginning. She was still beautiful to the middle, and she was still beautiful in the end. And where you're going through in your life, all of you are going through issues. All of you are going through struggles and obstacles, and that are going to make you stronger. But one of the things that you got to realize is you never lose your worth by the things you're going through. The things that you're going through are the things that are going to make you stronger. And you're going to say, how can I learn from the situation? How am I made strong by this? How many of y'all have gone through a rough life? And some of y'all look young. What's the age bracket in here? I'm 40. We got 20. So we got 20s, we got, and he said, rough. But the situations are making us stronger every single day. And the end of the picture is going to be more radiant if you stick with the course. Stick with your vision. Stick with this dream to make it happen. The end is going to be so much better than your beginning. Turn to your neighbor. Show them your pearly whites. Turn to the other neighbor and tell them that's right. Oh, y'all look so happy. I'm up here. I have more time. I want to focus in on these two right here. See, I know my worth. Oh, did I do my job? Did I do my job? See, I know my worth. I'm worth it all. Thank you for your time. Awesome. Now I get to introduce the next speaker. The next speaker is, again, dear to me. I had a bio, and the bio is not here, but I know these speakers, and I bragged on them during the presentation. They are a Christian apparel called Hustling Spirit. And like I said, there's not, when you talk about fashion, you know, when you think about Christian gear, you think about, hey, if the rapture happens and my car is like on the side of the road, you know, to make sure that, you know, you're not in heaven or something like that, you know. Jesus saves and everybody else fails. Or those little bars when you see the bleeding hands all over the place. And is there a place for that? There may be a place for that, and there may be someone that looks good in that. But what they want to do is devise Christian apparel that people can look good, and you can go to, you know, the school and not look persecuted for, but you can give a quality apparel, and I can respect that. And I watch them do them from nothing, and watch how they're building their empire. And like they're a prime example of someone who is building their empire by not trying to fit in a hole. They're creating a hole for themselves. So if you walk and if you hear anything from them today, I really want you to look at that from that point of view and hear their story. Listen, we could have other people that are other religions dominate, but right now that's what their truth is. So what I want you to do is to see how you can see the principle out of this. They were taking a square and then made their own square space for themselves instead of fitting into a square hole. So what I would like you to do is hear the history, hear their story, and then realize that the truth that you hear today is a truth that can be applied for you. If